Improv Tipsters, Paul Vaillancourt here, back with another improv tip. In fact, today I'm really excited to be kicking off a series of improv tips about set games for the Herald. Set games for the Herald. I'm very excited about this. Most of the 129 improv tips leading up to this have been sort of bigger idea, approach-driven sort of tips. And I think that's been very great and very helpful for a lot of people. At least that's what you guys have told me. So, but today I want to do something a little bit different, a little more sort of practical, boots on the ground, exercise-driven teaching that I haven't really been doing in the tips so far. Now, why? Why am I sort of changing course on this? Well, I'm not changing course in the big picture. My idea for the improv tips is always to bring you value and help you sort of understand improv deeper and deeper and to help you solve your improv problems on your journey, right? One of the things that I have always been a big advocate of is the idea that when we're learning and teaching the Herald, that we still need to teach, even in our modern day, some of the foundational exercises and techniques that make the Herald so great. And I think that as improv has evolved and as the Herald has evolved, so the teaching of the Herald has evolved too. And I think that sometimes we are skipping important evolutionary steps. We're skipping important evolutionary steps. So I think that we're sort of jumping ahead to the punchline without sort of the underpinning skills that make that final thing possible. Okay, and I've said this a lot. I've said it when I've been talking about the Herald. I've said it on a few podcasts, and I said it recently on a podcast, and I'll link it down below, Improvcast with Jay Landon. And someone wrote to me about it, and they were like, "Hey, what are these games that you think are so important? How do you do them? What's going on with that?" So I thought, well, gosh, this is a perfect time. I'm going to make a series of videos about these games. And so there's 6 of them. These are my favorite ones, the ones that I like the most, the ones that I think are the most helpful. And so that's the ones that I'm going to show. But let me just say that I don't think that these are the only ones, and I don't think this is the only way to teach them. Okay, so I want to hear your feedback, and I want to hear your suggestions, and I want to hear your additions to the conversation. I think those will be super, super helpful, but I don't think that the discussion will be useful, like that this is the only way. No, it's not the only way, because I'm not saying it's the only way. I'm saying this is a way that I think is helpful and a way that has worked for me in the past and for my students in the past. I am a big fan of what is called the spokes of the wheel theory of truth. The spokes of the wheel theory of truth. That is, truth is like a wheel, and all the spokes point towards the central hub. So whether it's the IO or UCB or Groundlings or Magnet or Pit or Clubhouse or PAC or whatever theater or whatever approach, none of us have the truth in a box. We're all pointing towards the truth. We're all sort of trying to achieve that same one truthful thing at the end, which is a good, compelling scene. And there are a million ways to get there. And each theater and each approach is teaching what they have found to be the most useful, or what they think is a reliable way to get there. If they're being perfectly honest, a reliable way to get there. And I feel that same way about these games and the way that I'm going to teach them. These are the games that I like, and this is the way that I teach them. So I'm sharing it with you as I would with a class or with a friend. Okay, so I hope that you enjoy them. I hope that you find them useful. And here's how I'll do it each week. Each week I will set up the game a little bit. I will sort of tell you sort of the ins and outs, the staging apparatus of it. I'll be really specific sometimes about the staging, because I think there are just little staging techniques that just pop the game a little bit more, that make the game work a little bit better. So you'll see that I really get really granular on some of this stuff. So I'll set it up, and then I have some players who are going to then give it a try and show the games in practice. Now, the reason I did that was because an explanation of the game is one thing, but then to see it in action and hear some feedback on it, I think adds a whole nother dimension to the usefulness of this video. Right? I think there's a whole other dimension to the usefulness of this video, because you get to see things in action, like kind of what works and what didn't, like how do we solve this problem, or how do we sort of like really fine tune this little aspect of it. And I'll give some notes at the end of each rendition of it, and then we'll have another try at it. Okay, so I think that will really sort of add value in terms of like really nailing these ideas down. So that's it. So I will explain it, and then the players will have a try at it, and then you'll be able to hear some notes, and then they'll have another try at it, and then some more notes. Now, in picking the players, I really was trying to get players that hadn't necessarily worked together before, players that hadn't necessarily done a ton of work with these games before, because I think sometimes I could have gotten a team that had, been working together for a long time, that had really drilled down on these games so much, but I think sometimes presenting a completely finished and polished product isn't the most instructive necessarily, because I think that sometimes when we sort of are in the learning process, then we want to see other people in the learning process where they're still sort of maybe not perfectly right, but they're challenging the game in different ways, and they're sort of butting up against the game in different ways, just as we are when we're learning. So I got these players together. Some of them have not played together before. Some of them have not played these games before the day of the shoot. So I think it's interesting to see kind of what they take away and what they do with them. I think they do a really good job, but again, these are just the first stabs at these games. It is just the beginning, not the end. It is just the beginning. I think that's about it. I hope you enjoyed the videos. Please comment, ding ding, down below and let me know sort of what do you teach with these games? What additions or subtractions or little twists or little pro tips do you have about these games? And we'll keep the discussion going and really try to make this a useful forum for people to talk about these set games for the Herald. So, without any further ado, please sit back, relax, and enjoy our very first game, movie review. Hey everybody, Paul Vaillancourt here. I'm doing a series of video tips about set games for the Herald. The first game that we're going to do today is called Movie Review. It's absolutely one of my favorite games, and I think you're really going to love it. It has tons of uses that we'll talk about in a second. So basically, how does it go? Well, I think one of the most important things about any set game is the call. How do I, as a player, initiate this game? Well, if I'm on the side and I see that the scene is wrapping up, to initiate this game, I basically grab two chairs from wherever they are, and I put them down here, and this is my narration spot, right? This is where I'm going to sort of do a lot of narrating from. We use the same sort of thing in the improvised movie and some other games that we're going to see coming up, but this is my narration spot. Then, me as a game caller, I'll take one of the positions here, and then I'll usually have a partner as well right over here, and we are the host of this movie review show that we're about to see, okay? And so what's gonna happen is we'll introduce the show. Hey everybody, I'm Jack Johnson, and this is my friend, Tammy Johnson. I'm your wife. Yeah, I know, Tammy, sorry. So my wife and friend, Tammy Johnson. So one thing that I really always try to emphasize to people is that these people here should not only be just facilitating the game, but they should have a relationship of their own. Something going on here. Not a ton, not that's going to distract from the game or slow down the pace of the game, but there should be something going on between the two of them, right? So even that little bit of like me saying friend, and then when I jump over here I discover, oh, I'm Tammy Johnson and I'm his wife, then we have like a little bit of something going on, right? So we can sort of play that between us. So then, once we've introduced who we are, then we sort of set up the show. Today, on our show, we're going to be talking about movies that are based around oranges. This is sponsored by the Florida Orange Council, and so we have a lot of really fantastic films featuring oranges. It's actually my favorite fruit, you know? You really like watermelons, and I really like oranges, but, you know, the difference is the spice of life. Let's keep us going. Yeah, whatever, Tammy. Anyway, so but we're sort of setting up kind of what the gist of the thing is, the overarching thing. That theme, that idea can come from the suggestion that we got initially in the Herald. It can come from something from the opening that we've discovered that we think is kind of interesting, we want to explore further. That's one of the sort of uses of the group game, is to re-explore the suggestion. We explore it initially in the opening, and then we can re-explore it when we have these group games. Take another swing at it, dig a little bit deeper, squeeze a little more juice out of it. When we've sort of set up our thing, we're ready to go. We usually review 3 movies, right? And what we're going to do is we'll sort of talk a little bit about it, and then we'll throw to it. So basically, I think that a clean throw is super important. So basically, we'll set it up. I'll say, okay, well, Tammy, you saw the first movie. What was it? Thanks, Jack. Well, the first movie is called Oranges, Oranges Everywhere, and it's a story about a bunch of kids in kindergarten who have oranges but really want orange juice. Yeah, this is a trouble for those kids. And this is the part where the kids have all the oranges and they get the knives and trouble ensues. Boom. Right? Let's see it. Boom. And then we go to it, right? So we're talking amongst ourselves, we're sort of insulated here, and we sort of say, like, here's what the movie's about, here's kind of the premise of it, but then what we really want to do, what I call the Goldilocks zone, is we want to give enough to the players to get them started, like they can shotgun start right out of the gate, but not so much that we're telling them exactly what to do. Too little would be, this is a story about kids who have oranges but want orange juice. Too little, right? You have to really sort of make a million decisions, right? Too much would be, this is a story about kids who have oranges and who want orange juice, and they get the knives, and their teacher comes in, she tries to stop them, they fight her off, she pulls out a samurai sword, we didn't know that was coming. Now I told too much, right? Now the players are just puppets, right? We don't want that to be. We want to, as we say in screenwriting or playwriting, leave a little room for the actor, right? So we want to do the same thing. We want to leave a little room for the actors. So we'll set up what's going to happen over here, and we'll say, okay, this is a part where they fight, where they get the knives, and trouble ensues. Let's see it, or roll the film, or here we go. One of these, and then we'll turn physically and point. So the other players who are sort of arrayed around the stage will come out and they'll show us that little scene. Now they're going to start with what they already know. Hey, we have all these oranges. What are we going to do? I'll tell you what, I just found a teacher's stash of knives. Shing, let's go. Hold on, I don't want to do it that way. Oh my gosh, this is like a little kid's version of West Side Story. Yeah, it really is. Watch out, you. Shing. Oh no, Marco. And then when I'm ready, we've sort of started with what we know, and we've made one big discovery, that is, it's like a little toddler version of West Side Story, then we can stop it by saying, great, or stop it there, or oh my gosh, a big verbal sort of cue that's like, we're done, right? Because we don't want them to play out the whole movie. We want them to start with what they know, make a big discovery, and then come back to us, and then we'll outro it. I couldn't believe it when the filmmakers were so bold to have one toddler stab another toddler on screen. Let me just tell you, it gets crazier from there. I know, we can't show you more. I really love this film for violence with toddlers. It's amazing. And now, let's talk about the second film that I saw. Yeah, you went by yourself. What was up with that? Look, it's just like scheduling. I just went, anyway. So this is, and then I will get into the second one, right? We'll do basically the same sort of thing. So again, just to review, a clean call with the chairs, boom. So then now the whole cast knows, we have a common vocabulary of games, so they know, okay, something's happening, right? I sit down here, another player comes and sits with me. We start off, we set up the sort of the premise of the thing. Okay, great, this is a movie review show. Okay, we got that now, right? Again, everyone's sort of ramping up, getting ready to go. We set up our relationship, we set up the arch, the overarching idea, and then we start with the first film. Well, the first film that we're going to review today is blah, blah, blah. And again, in the Goldilocks zone, we want to give the players enough to start with so they can shotgun start right out of the gate, but not so much that we are hemming them in, right? We want to leave a little room for the actor. And then the players, when you start, you want to start with what we know, make one big discovery, and then narrators, you're going to wrap it up. And that'll be the first movie. Okay? We'll do a second movie, then a third movie, and then at the end, we'll just thank everyone like any show on the planet. Hey, thanks for watching. Next week, we're going to be doing movies all about cucumbers, sponsored by the Kansas Cucumber Council. Oh man, you're going to really be surprised by these. Okay, see you next week. And then we'll pull you the chairs back as the next scene comes out. Okay? Any questions from the audience? All right. Let's give it a try. So we're going to have some players try it out, and I'm going to give them the suggestion of credit card. Credit card. Here we go.
Wow. That was some amazing commercials, right?
Oh, I just can't get enough of it.
I love when they let us watch them.
I know, it makes me forget I'm in so much credit card debt.
Hey, speaking of credit card debt, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Hey, I'm glad you're here with me.
Thank you.
Do you want to introduce our first movie?
I do. Okay, so our first movie, oh boy, it's about MasterCard and when the two girls in the valley meet each other and find the answer.
Yeah, the answer that they've been looking for the entire time. Let's see it.
Oh my god! It's the mall!
We're on Forever 21!
Oh my god, they have the turquoise theme!
This is exactly what we
walked around the mall 3 times for.
Oh my god, those other stores are like, gag me with a spoon, let's go to Forever 21.
They're all wannabe Forever 21s. They're the TJ whatever and the other Charlotte Russe.
That's right. Oh my god, look over there. Did you see it? It's the magical credit card we've been looking for. They said it was gonna be in the mall somewhere. We found it.
Oh my god, it's actually real.
Oh my god.
I thought it was just in a commercial.
Wow. Wasn't that just...
Oh.
Oh
Wow.
my god. It reminds me of when we were young. Remember?
Oh my god. 0% APR for 18 months?
No, they don't do that anymore.
Oh,
So every day with you is a discovery.
Totally.
And that's why I'm really happy that Discover finally got into the action genre.
you have to tell us. It was your favorite film.
Okay, so it's called Gunslingers and Other People. And this is my favorite scene in the movie. The gunslinger, after being beaten and bruised by the Nazis, finally breaks out and he tells that ooh when he confronts the boss of the Nazis.
You know it's all over for
Oh!
me. Oh, let's see
Let's see
it.
it.
Let's see
Let's see
it.
it.
I'm making out of here now, Hans. I'm making my move. Over my dead body. That's right. It's gonna be dead right now. Because I've discovered the way to make it happen. This Discover cards! Go! Discover when you really need to travel.
A movie for the whole family. Like everybody can get some help from that.
We should have kids. Okay.
So our next movie,
It's actually a family.
a family rom, a group of family members, right?
Mom,
very
dad,
nuclear,
kids.
yeah.
Yes.
Is on a road trip, and
Across the country.
but it's crazy because when they get a flat tire, 50 miles away from Las Vegas, they discover that it wasn't about Las Vegas.
It was never about Las Vegas.
Let's see it.
Okay.
This trip sucks.
Franklin, help me with the tire.
No, why would I want to do
Help
that?
your father.
What are you gonna do if I don't, Mom?
He won't listen to me.
This is what I was talking about. I want this to be a family affair. I wanted this to be family affair.
How about instead of going to Las Vegas, that we just hold hands here in this desert?
Really, Mom? Well, you know all I've been wanting is affection.
We haven't held hands in so long. Oh,
Should we sing a song?
you know it.
You know, it's almost Christmas season.
Falls
You,
If you want kids, I will have kids. I will have your baby.
Join us next week when we talk about mortgages.
And hopefully we'll have a third host with us.
Aww.
Very nice, very nice. Let me say, stay your place just 1 second. So really nice. How did you guys feel about doing it? How did you guys feel when you were doing it? Fun, really fun. I thought it was really great for live. I know that's a loaded question, but I think it's really nice. And I will say that I think it gets stronger as it goes on. I think it's stronger as it goes on. At the beginning, I would just love a little bit sharper start. Right? Like, hey, welcome to our movie review show, whatever. The start was a little bit soft, right? And so it takes a little bit. When we're doing these set games, or when we're doing group games, I think we want them to, as the Herald's progressing along, like scene, game. We don't want it to be like scene, game, and it kind of pulls up or whatever. We want it to have the same sort of thrust and the same sort of excitement as the scenes. And for us, what that means is we're trying to get everybody together on on a group mind really quickly is a sharp invitation, right? Because these people who are calling the game, they're like the host of a party. They're telling us what kind of a party it is, what time to show up, how to dress, what we're going to be doing, right? So that you show up ready for the party, right? So a sharp start, a little bit of a sharper start for you guys, I think would help. But what I liked about it, as it went on, I thought your setups in the movies got better and better, right? Again, one thing I think, but I'll sort of say one thing I think that would help is if we say kind of the title of the movie, and then kind of like the overall sort of arc of the movie, and then the scene we're gonna see, right? It's like a little sort of formula where we do this in TV too, where we start with like a wide shot, and then a two shot, or a wide shot, and then a medium shot, and then a two shot. So we're sort of like focusing down everyone's attention, so we know, oh, it's this kind of movie, oh, this kind of part of the movie, and this is the scene we're gonna see, right? And that helps everybody, right? As we went on, I think those got sharper and sharper. Third thing is, I wouldn't be averse to seeing some more like group scenes. Like if there's like, in the Forever 21 when we're shopping, maybe there's some other people like back to the audience, not to draw attention, but people are shopping or just filling out the scenes a little bit. Does that make sense? Yes. That helps too. That gives it that movie-ish sort of look. And then start sharp. Just start with what you know, right in on it, and then when you make that big discovery, make that a big discovery. Really open it up. I thought that the Nazi one was like super clear, like kill this guy, and like boom, he said the tagline to the camera. Like that's really it, right? And also I think the one with the holding hand, we're singing, that's a nice, or like, oh, I see that's happening. I think your guys was good, but do you feel like it's a little soft? Like, are we done? Like I think it's just like us as players really knowing that we're driving towards that big discovery. And once we've got the magical credit card, oh my God, and we go like, oh, whatever that thing may be, but just something to really punch, like this is the end, this we've done it, right? And we're sort of having a little dialogue between the callers and the players. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Excellent.
So that was our players' first time playing movie review, and I think they did a really nice job. You heard most of my notes, but there's 3 ideas that I really want to drill down on for just a second before we move on to the second rendition of it. The first is the idea of the Goldilocks zone. Not too much narration, not enough narration. I think that in this first version, we see their Goldilocks zone gets better and better as it goes. The first one's sort of wide, and the second one's a little bit better, and the third one's a little bit better yet. And so they're sort of like honing in on, and this happens a lot in the teaching and learning of this game, honing in and sort of feeling what is that sort of not too much, not too little, that just exactly right amount of narration set up for the scene. The second thing is sort of how they set that up, how they do that. And one thing I said in the notes that I really want to sort of shine a spotlight on is this idea of the wide, medium, two. It is a little formula or a way of thinking that just helps us sort of get all the information that we need. What is the title of the movie and kind of what is it about? Okay, and those ideas are like the biggest ideas. And then who are the characters and what is the location? And then finally, what is happening in the scene that we're going to see? What is the movie? What is it called? What's it about? The genre, these kinds of things. Second, who are the characters? What is the location? And then finally, third, most specifically, what is this scene that we're going to see? If you get those 3 pieces of information out, then the players who are doing the performance part of it will be totally ready to go. Totally ready to just come out strong. And the third thing is, and I didn't say this in the notes, but sort of watching it back, I watched it more. The one thing I wish I had said is, I think energy. The narrators and the players can all have a little bit more energy, and just, I think that will sort of pace it up a little bit and sort of make the whole game go a little bit quicker. One thing in specific that will make the game go quicker without rushing is a little bit more sharpness on the doing of it. When I'm saying, okay, here's our next movie. Okay, and here's our next movie. Okay, let's go to that. Okay, that's it for that. You know, it's just sort of like clear calls. Clear call to the start, clear setup of who they are and what their relationship is, clear setup of what the movies are, clear throws, clear calls back to the narration. Like all of that, taking out all the sort of extraneous, sort of soft notion of that, I think will really fine-tune the game, keep a lot of more energy in the game, and make it a little more fun to do, a little more fun to watch. Okay? Now the players had a second round, a second try at it. Let's have a look.
Fantastic. So we just heard some notes. We're going to do it one more time just to see a different version of it. And your suggestion is going to be comment. Here we go.
I'm Pamela Johnson.
Hi, I'm Richard Eggers.
And this is Movie Review. reviews.
Yeah, back at it again.
Back at it again.
A month of vacation really does us both good.
Anyway, our first movie, how about you explain it for us?
Oh, absolutely. So, Day of the Comet. It's the reboot of Night of the Comet. The story about two sisters scrapping it out in the post-apocalypse. And this story is about two brothers because their sister got smashed by the comet upon impact. So the scene we're going to watch is when both of the brothers finally release the aggression over the death of their sister.
Ooh, let's take a look.
You killed her! I know I did! I couldn't help it! Every day I wake up and she's not there playing PlayStation. It was just on the controller, man. You shouldn't have slept in like that, otherwise you'd still have a sister. You shouldn't have had a bed, otherwise you would have had a sister. I said we should have bumped. I'm sorry! I don't like the Top Bunker Heights!
It's your sister. Do not fight. I love you both.
Tommy, did you hear that?
Beautiful.
Wow.
Our next Comet film you saw and you raved about it.
Oh, yeah, this one is called Comet, Clean That House. This is about a mother who, it's a Sunday, and they want to get that house clean.
Of course.
So they're using that product, Comet. And they gotta get those germs.
Of course.
Take a look.
Jenny, are you getting it clean? Come on!
I'm trying. You're just pushing me really hard.
Your mom's gonna be here any minute. You know how crazy she is.
I know. She'll be on the microscope.
Okay, all right.
Here. I see dust. This is unacceptable.
Sorry, Mrs. Jones. Sorry.
I told you.
I want to get out of my bubble. Is it clean?
She will have her sneezing fit again. It's not
No,
I'm
so sorry, Mommy. I'm so sorry.
You will have to do 14 rounds of cleaning of the toilet bowl.
Oh, thank you.
That will be your punishment.
Thank you, Mommy. I can't wait to get out of my bubble.
Oh, let's cut that. That's too much.
Quite a family in stress, I must say.
Ugh.
Yeah. Well, let's lighten the mood and talk about the Comet comedy that came out this season, of course. Called What's That in the Sky?
Oh, on NBC?
That's right.
How about you set that up for us?
Of course. So, Megan Mullally plays two parts, a mother and a sister, and they are both astronomers, and they see something that they've never expected to see in the sky.
What? Let's take a look. Well, look at what we got here.
Yes, Mom?
We got stars.
Mm-hmm.
We got a moon. And if you look even deeper,
Wait a second. Oh, help me! Wait a second. Help me, I'm falling! Oh my God! Oh! Somebody put out a mattress or something! I don't know!
This is not for your eyes to see, or your ears.
No!
Son.
3, 2, 1!
oh, why did it have to end like that?
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, that's it for this week.
Yeah.
Palm Springs can't come soon enough, if you know what I mean.
right?
Thanks for watching, everybody, and see you at the aisle.
Nice, very nice. Great. Have a seat, please. So,
A couple things to keep in mind. I really like so much of what's going on. I think really get after it, and if you're sort of going to throw it to him, make sure that you're sort of like pitching, like adding in. Because sometimes we don't have it, or like, why don't you do that? And then once it's on him, I still want to keep adding. And a couple details I think would be really fun to add is when the brothers in the first scene are fighting it out, right? I think sometimes it really helps to set the stage a little bit. And the two brothers, and finally all the aggression over the death of their sister comes out, and it takes place in a video arcade, or whatever that thing might be. Because then it sort of gives them a little, and then we can sort of, as the surrounding players, help out a little bit too. Like, I can't believe this happened, our sister died, and someone else like, or whatever, right? And they can sort of fill it out a little bit. So setting the stage a little bit, I think, helps sometimes. Secondly, be aware when you're on the stage that this third is for the narrators and this 2/3 is for the players, right? In the cleaning scene, you guys are really behind them, and it really upstages you, because we're going to look at so much stuff on the stage. So really try to keep here in this, and sort of like clear them this over here, right? Most stages have like these flats on them. We sort of draw a line, and then we're kind of in this little area here. That way you can be really clear, and they can see us easily too to edit the scene. And it was the brothers, and it was the, what was the second one? Oh, the cleaning, right, with the mom. I think that's great. I think once we have the daughter in the bubble, I think let's do something with that. It's such a big idea. Why not make that big discovery? Pop the bubble, or we unzip it, or whatever that thing might be. And then the third one we just saw, I'm sorry, was, Megan Mullally, right? So as you're falling, I would love to see, boosh, why not fall into the scene? What is that big thing? And then French Stewart is the third part of this comedy triangle, and it's like, oh my gosh, and then that's like the whole setup of the thing. It's like the trailer for that sitcom. I love that it's like 2 movies in a sitcom. I thought that was really interesting. Great, any questions from you guys? Excellent, thank you very much. That's the movie review. I love this game because it has so many different uses. When I was playing the Herald a long time ago, we used it a ton of stuff. We used it one time. We were doing setting up the new. This used to be a thing. The new crop of Saturday morning cartoons, and they were educational cartoons. It was like the Smurfs doing the Bhagavad Gita, or it was like Scooby Doo and the Gang doing Moby Dick. Like, so we would do that, but it's like the same sort of thing, right? It's the same sort of thing. Also, this is another game. We used it one time to. My partner and I were 2 funeral home directors, and we were setting up a series of films that we had done about coping with grief. And so we'd see like little bits of this sort of educational film series, right? And this is great when we're doing like a classroom scene and we're like, okay, let's go to that video, guys. That is this exact thing that we can do in a scene, this exact skills that we can do in a scene. Anything where we're sort of setting up a video and then playing the video. Setting up an idea and then playing that idea. This is also, my kindergartners are in a school pageant. Right? Or this is, we're going to see this play, or a ballet, or an opera, right? These are the people that are the commentators, and they're setting up, as the curtain rises on Act 3, we see the tree and the princess meet for the very first time. And then boom, we're right into that, right? We set up a big genre, and we're right into it. It's all these same skills that are built in movie review. What is that clean throw? What is that sort of Goldilocks zone of narration? All these skills are built by movie review. It's absolutely one of my favorite games. That's why we did it first. We'll see you next week with another game.
Great, another really fun stab at the game. I think they really did a lot of good stuff here, and you heard my notes on that, and a couple things I just want to add before we sort of wrap up this video. First is, again, I would say more energy. More energy and a little bit sharper in the technique. The more we do it, I think, the sharper the technique gets and the more the energy stays in the game and is more fun to watch and fun to do, okay? Sharpness equals energy, in my estimation. Also, I would say, play with confidence. Our narrators come out and they start and they hem and haw a little bit, but I think even if you don't have all the answers, that's okay. Just start the ball rolling. Your partner's there to help you, and you're there to help them, right? You're not doing it on your own, they're not doing it on their own. You're working together as a team. So really bounce that ping pong ball back and forth, and really rely on each other to make those setups happen. And then finally, this is a super pragmatic idea, is when you're playing, make sure that you have the narration zone on one part of the stage and the performance zone on the other part of the stage, because that clean, clear stage picture really helps the audience watch and understand what's going on. And also, as I said in the notes, makes it easier for you all within the scene to make those quick, clean edits to, here we go, let's see another one. Okay, that's enough of that. Or let's, oh my gosh, I can't believe that was it, right? All of that sort of works together. Each little piece of it, from the clarity and the sharpness of the narration to the clarity and sharpness of the stage picture, all works together to make that game the best that it can be.
Hey everybody, we have been the Improv Tip Players, and individually we are
Austin Mooney.
Lindell Starks.
Jeff Thompson.
Samantha Cobb.
John Meehan, Patrick McGrath,
Gina Main.
Alexandra Mena.
Stan McConnell.
Kat Zakari.
and I'm Paul Vaillancourt. I'm going to put all their social media links in the description, ding ding, down below, so check them out and follow them. Thanks for watching.